Good morning. We lead off this morning with a secret recording about foster children at risk for sexual abuse, obtained in a CBC News investigation. The recording captures a confrontation from the children's frustrated caseworker and an extraordinary admission from her boss. As Katie Nicholson tells us this morning, the foster care agency admits it left the children in a home with their abuser.
Child welfare agencies are supposed to keep children safe when their biological parents can't, or at least that's the thinking. But in this case, children were kept in the same foster placement as their abuser after allegations of sexual abuse surfaced. Now, we're concealing the identities of those involved to protect them, but here is what we can tell you. An investigation eventually determined the allegations of sexual abuse were founded. It involved a minor who was abusing other children in care. Two of the agencies involved in the care of the children knew of the allegations. Métis Child and Family Services, which ultimately was responsible for the children, and BNL Resources for Children, Youth and Families, the foster care company it hired to place the children. Now, a safety plan was put in place for the children in the home. CBC News has obtained a recording of a meeting of that foster care agency. It was secretly recorded by a caseworker who was upset with the way the case was handled. This is her voice.
We literally just left those kids to sit there and be victimized.
And this is the voice of the agency's director of foster care.
It's up to us to follow through because we're the hands-on people here. And we have to make some of those decisions, and I think we tried to do. We dragged our heels big time. Yeah. We really dragged our feet, and that's not acceptable. It never is, and never will be for me. And I take some responsibility too for that. The damage is done. It's been sort of ongoing for probably as long as the kids have been there.
The children were eventually separated from their abuser. All the children involved got some counseling. Now, one of the biological parents wants answers.
People need to be accountable for what they've done or have not done in this case, and they've failed to protect my family.
The foster company says decisions about the children's safety are up to the CFS agency that contracts them, and that it immediately responds to any such requirements. As for the CFS authority in charge of the children's safety, Métis CFS, it says it took action as soon as it learned of the allegations, but it won't say when it learned of them. The biological parent claims to have raised the alarm about abuse with a Métis CFS worker months before the agency separated the children from their abuser. Katie Nicholson, CBC News, Winnipeg.